What did you see on Sunday?
Well, I saw a loss just like you, Skip.
Okay. What kind of a loss?
But outside of that, one, let's start with Philadelphia. When you inside against this type of team in the red zone, you can't come away with 3.
3 and 3.
You got to score.
Yep.
Okay, because if you are kicking field goals and it's 6-0, guess what we're thinking on sideline? We're up by 1. Because all we got to do is go down and score, kick a field goal. It's 7-6. That's exactly
immediately happened.
Immediately happened.
It did.
So they was behind the sticks to begin with. Then once they got Brock Purdy, which if I had an MVP vote right now, I'd probably have to put his name in it. I have to check that box. That's just what it is. Brock Purdy played extremely well. Philadelphia
You're talking about MVP of the NFL.
MVP of the NFL.
Because you didn't even have him in your top 4 or 5
If you asked me this 5-6 weeks ago, I'd be like, nah, heck no. But based on the way that he played in this particular game, although he got help from Deebo Samuel on the shallow cross, out the gate, 40-something-yard touchdown. Nobody wanted to tackle Deebo in the second, third wave. So when you look at that, he certainly brought something to the table for Brock Purdy. But Brock Purdy, flawless in the game. He ran the ball through the ball. I mean, it just was a different situation. They got after the Philadelphia Eagles, no question about it, on the defensive side of the ball. They slowed down Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts threw the ball 45 times, something I don't want to see. They did not run the ball worth a sniff. Why that is, I have no idea. Is it because Johnson, the offensive coordinator, elected that maybe their secondary is more vulnerable than their front 7? So we're going to try and throw the football, although when they pin their ears back because they're up. San Francisco is a get-up team, play from ahead and not from behind. Behind is not 6-0. Behind is down double digits. I think we've been talking about that all year long. Philadelphia just didn't play well. I understand the way you and Michael may feel about this situation because the 49ers went into Philadelphia, something that the Cowboys were not able to do. And they hung 42 on them just like they did to the Cowboys. So you're looking at this as, oh, my God, we got a chance to win the division. You may have a chance to win the division. It's going to come up next week. We'll see. We'll get there. But as of right now, Philadelphia needs to make some adjustments on the defensive side of the ball. They've got to figure out how to slow people down, how to stop the bend, don't all of a sudden you break. Because they were playing bend, don't break. Give you all the way down into the red zone, then clamp down, come and get you, force you to kick field goals. That didn't happen yesterday against the 49ers. You win, I lose. That's all I can say. You win, I lose. Yay.
I think you're taking it much harder than you're indicating.
No, I say you win, I lose. I picked Philadelphia to beat the San Francisco 49ers.
I think we had another...
Mostly, I literally just said, you win, I lose. And I picked Philadelphia with my heart versus my head because I can't stand you.
I got it.
Thank you. I can't.
Thank you.
I just can't.
Confession.
I don't have a problem. I'm guilty.
The souls.
But I am picking Philadelphia next week to go into Dallas
Are you
and
really?
rebound.
Again?
Absolutely. Yes,
you haven't learned your lesson
Nope,
yet?
I haven't learned. I'm hard-headed.
Well, listen, now, I see on Philly side, I see a different thing here. You know, because I sat here last week, and I was like, I love this team. There's no way you're going to beat this team. That's why
you said you've never been more torn.
More torn, because I love, let me fix that. I love the heart that I saw in this team. I love the drive that I saw with this team, the determination to win a championship and get back to the Super Bowl, and that's still there. Key, when I looked at this game, going into this game, I was so vexed by it because I saw that heart, but I also knew what they've gone through. I told you about winning games like that emotionally and how hard it is to rebound from it emotionally. Then as I prepared for my other show, I'm seeing everything. They played 95 plays the week before. So I'm saying I believe Philly was a little tired. So that's not a true barometer of where Philly is. And I believe if they see them again, Philly will play them better because coming off what Philly was coming off of, and then playing 95 snaps against the Bills while the 49ers are resting for 10 days, and then they come in, and here's the kicker. They come in at their best. Why were they at their best? It's because of what I told y'all. The 49ers got back the heart and soul of their football team, which is that dude right there. That dude right there. Huh? You can throw all the balls you want to Brandon Ayuk. You can hand all the balls you want to Christian McCaffrey, and it'll look one way. When Deebo Samuel come in this football game and he's healthy and they put him in the mix like they did yesterday, I was happy to see. Ooh, we hit him, you cut him. Philly, they bleed, they're human. But then I said to myself, Deebo Samuel will make San Fran looks inhuman, you know, and we got to go through both of them. So happy that by the time Philly comes to Dallas, you'll have a chance at first place, Dallas Cowboys. But also, boy, you're going to have to deal with that San Francisco 49ers team sooner or later. So I was bouncing back and forth. I think Philly, I gotta put a lot on what they had gone through going up to that game. I got to give San Fran all the credit in the world. They had to win that game. That's why it finally came down to the determining factor that I got to pick the San Francisco 49ers, because they had to win that game to prove to themselves that what happened in the championship game was not really them.
Okay, so you give Dallas maybe a little better shot against Philadelphia, but you give Dallas a worse shot against San Francisco if it comes to that in the postseason.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I give Dallas a better shot. Right. But what I saw with San Fran had too many plans of attack for the Eagles' defense. Early on, the Eagles had them in check, but then they just started opening up that offense too many. Now, what is Dallas? Dallas right now have so many plans of ways of attacking you right now. With Brandon Cooks playing the way he is, the running game coming. So I took that and extrapolated and said, we can do this too. We can put up 42 points like the 49ers did.
Okay.
Because
against Philly.
Because you was gathering information.
Well, I'm so glad. Boy, class is in session. And you gathered information too yesterday. We all did.
Okay, so I'm going to say it again. The Eagles' defense is gettable. It is torchable. And it's going to find that out again, even with a little more rest going into next Sunday night, because it's the night game at Jerry World. The Dallas Cowboys will go up and down the field against that defense. They actually went up and down the field in the fourth quarter at Philadelphia because Dak threw for 173 yards in the fourth quarter alone, while Jalen threw for a grand total of 3 yards just in the fourth quarter. But they won because I kept saying, it's like they're on borrowed time. They luck out. Dak stepped just barely out of bounds on a 2-point try, or we might be having a different conversation. Schoonmaker, the rookie from Michigan, his knee comes down 1 inch short of the goal line, or we'd have a different conversation. They were on borrowed time for 4 straight weeks, and yesterday they just got smashed by a team that was out of their league. The 49ers just outclassed them in every way, shape, and form, to Keyshawn's point, after the first quarter in which they could not cash twice. Maybe if they'd cashed twice and it was 14-0, maybe they could make that stand up, but I doubt it because the 49ers are just way better than them across the board. And the tone got set by Deebo, your man Deebo. After the championship game last year, he went on a podcast and he called Bradbury trash. And when he was asked this week, do you stand by what you said? He said, yes, I do. I said it and I meant it. And he would not back off it. And I think he proved it yesterday. Maybe he wrote himself a check he had to cash. But there was that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, okay, so there was an early third quarter incident, and we're going to dive more deeply into it a little later in the show. But this Dom DeSandro, the head of security for the Eagles, steps onto the field and gets into it with Dre Greenlaw, who'd already been flagged for 15 yards for unnecessary roughness because he body slammed Devontae Smith. And it was one of those incidents that got Dre Greenlaw tossed out of the game along with this Dom. He gets tossed also, but he doesn't play football, so it didn't really matter. And I'm thinking, okay,
oh God,
is this going to be the moment where they suddenly just are ignited by it? And because the crowd went crazy, Dom's a cult hero there. And what happened? Deebo immediately happened. He's like, no, I got this.
Remember, they drove right down and scored, so it did ignite them. But Deebo put out that fire.
He just put out that fire immediately because you want to talk about a force of nature. I've never seen anything like it. For the first time I saw it up close and personal was against Dallas 2 years ago in the playoff game when we just couldn't deal with him. You can toss it to him, you can reverse him, you can flip it to him on little slants, and nobody, to your point, Michael, nobody wants to tackle him.
Grown men look like kids on a playground.
Yeah.
They're
afraid of him. They were afraid of him yesterday. So, again, I don't know how the Eagles can fix their defense on the fly. And for the first time after the game, I disagreed with Jalen Hurts because he wouldn't give San Francisco any credit. He said it wasn't about San Francisco. He said it was about us because we did not play to the standard, he said, meaning the Philadelphia standard.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I disagree with that because you could have played to whatever standard you wanted to, and you're going to get blown off the field because you're just not as good as they are.
But think about it, though, Skip. Just think about it for a minute. There's a difference, as I said to you before. When you're down 14-0 versus 6-0, there's a huge difference because all of a sudden, psychologically, both defensively and offensively, are calling things different. Now Shanahan is going to something that says, we're behind. I got to call it this way, opposed to calling it as if we're up by 1. That's the difference on the sideline with play callers. And they didn't cash in, to Jalen Hurts' point. It's not because San Francisco, it's because we didn't do our job. You know, when you go look at the all-22 and they miss a tackle here, they miss a block there, they're looking at it, they said, if we'd have just did this, if we'd have did that, would have been the outcome. Hats off to San Francisco. You can't take anything away from them, but I certainly understand, Skip, exactly what Jalen is saying.
Yeah, me too, from that standpoint, when he said we didn't play the standard. I can narrow this. I can narrow this a little bit more here. I'm talking about Jalen and AB 11, because Ward put it on AB 11 down near that end zone that I thought was a difference. When you got down in the red zone, this was your issue. This was your issue. Yeah. I don't understand, as big as AB is, why is he letting him push him all the way out of bounds like that? It blows my mind.
No, Michael,
you gotta be in that. That's what I take that Jalen Hurts is talking about right here. Because you're
it's called patience, as you know.
Yes.
He was not patient at the line of scrimmage.
Right.
He's just running out there.
Right.
Instead of just being patient and setting the dude up, if he sets him up and he's patient, he'll get an opportunity to score. But when you are impatient, first thing you think, I got to get the ball. Because the other guy on the other side is number 19. Or the other guy on the other side is number 88 from the Cowboys, and I'm watching him go to work, and I become impatient. And everything that I was trained to do by having patience to get open as a receiver, I lose that focus in this type of game. That's why you have to remain patient. When other people are getting theirs on the other side, you got to remain patient. You cannot just run out there, because now what you do, as you know, Michael, you close that line of scrimmage gap to the sidelines where you got a yard opposed to having 4 yards for Jalen to throw the ball. I know exactly, without even seeing the video, I know exactly which route you're talking about, because I said, the first thing I said is, why we allowed,
what are you
I didn't say it exactly like that, but I said some other stuff to go along with it as I was watching it. What are you doing?
And I take the patience, but also I need you to be patient and then go at him.
Yes.
See, so what I'm saying is, what are you, tired and don't want this work right here? I don't want this smoke? Because I'm not letting him push me to that little sideline that you're talking about, Key. I'm running, I'm gonna be patient, then I'm running right up on him, and then the ball fades me out. You run right on boot, and you let the ball fade you away from it. That technique was not the standard. That's what Jalen is talking about. When you expect him to win these games, one-on-one competition, I would have said they could have pushed a couple times and got in the end zone, but they didn't. They said, we're going to our best guy. And they took an opportunity at him, and he has to come up.
He still caught 8 for a buck 30.
I know what he called. I know what he called. But you already said it. It was this area. You can catch up and down that football field. I need you to do this right here in this area, and Philly could have had a different outcome, is all I'm saying.
Okay, my question is, when have the Eagles ever played to any standard on the other side of the ball? Again, 24th in points allowed. They are now the worst third down defense in all of football. They're 32nd and last. In takeaways, they have only 14 on defense, 14 defensive takeaways, which ranks 23rd. It's just not good enough. Yet, Keyshawn,
you're right, Skip, because if you go back and you think about, I think it was 4th and 1, and Deebo Samuel ran an under route, or maybe it was a slant, I don't remember, 4th and 1, but they were on San Francisco's own 38-yard line or something like that, and they went for it and got it. I was like, oh, yeah, this isn't going to go the way Philadelphia wants it to go at all today.
Okay, but all I hear about is Hassan Reddick, who's had his moments against our Cowboys. And all I hear about is Jalen Carter, who had a couple of moments yesterday, but only a couple. The totality of their defense, their unit, is so torchable. Yeah. And nobody seems to recognize it or plug into it. And yet the spread on Sunday night's game at Dallas is Dallas only by 3 points. So the odds makers are still giving Philly a whole lot of respect. Yeah, too much respect.
Right, and because they know they played 95 snaps.
Or give it, or not respecting Dallas.
You could argue. What? You could argue.
Because I've seen something out of Vegas that does not have the Cowboys in the top 5 to go to the Super Bowl.
Huh.
Listen,
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. Okay. I think you might have seen the same thing I've seen.
I have seen it.
Yeah, which is weird to me, but...
Okay, you are still picking Philadelphia, and I guess, is it with your heart or your head this time?
A little bit of both.
And I'm trying to help him. But let me tell you something. Yeah, I'm trying to help you because really, I didn't put Philly down as much as others are for losing this game because I saw early on what a fresh Philly could do too. Now that first quarter, Philly was a little bit better and they were fresh. And what they were doing on that defensive line, they were attacking. See, if ever you're sitting back against this kind of offense, I remember when Charles Haley came over to Dallas. That's the one
from San Francisco.
Charles Haley from San Francisco came over. He used to tell us, you got to attack that offensive line. You can't let them get in all those movements they're doing in the angles. In that first quarter, you saw them attacking. Philly was breaking. San Fran had nothing. Yep. Philly was breaking. And then they got tired. I imagine those big guys got tired. And then I text my producer. I said, man, they're starting to get their edges. Once they get those edges, it's over. You're going to see all these reverses and jet sweeps, and you can't stop none of it because you don't know where it's coming from, and you get caught up in the eye gate of it. But Philly early on matched up well with San Francisco and was stopping that offense.
Skip, how does this help the Dallas Cowboys? Because
I just told you how it helped the Dallas Cowboys.
No, I'm asking Skip. I didn't ask you. I asked Skip.
But it's the same team.
No, it's not. I'm asking Skip, how does this help the Dallas Cowboys? Because San Francisco put 42 on both. Mm-hmm. That means that they beat both. You're going to have to go to San Francisco. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming.
Well, you don't know that for a fact.
That's why I said I'm assuming. I'm just thinking with the way San Francisco's played the last 3 games, that they're probably going to be the #1 seed potentially. If Philadelphia may hold on, but who knows? Yep. But you may have to go to San Francisco to play them. Okay. Because it won't be in Jerry's world.
Okay.
How is this going to help y'all?
I can't wait. I've told you before, I would relish a 3rd times the playoff charm opportunity to go back to San Francisco where we were last year at the end of the year. Go look at the numbers from that game. It was 19-12. We held them to 19 points, not 42, 19 in a playoff game, and my quarterback did not play very well. He threw it to them twice, and we had 3 turnovers, and we couldn't dig out of that hole. 19-12. I believe we can reverse that score. I believe we can go out there and beat them because we have
reverse
taken
the
off.
Score 19, 42 for y'all, 19 for them?
Yeah, I believe. Well, I just think
I got to come on, Skip, take us to break, man.
No.
Come on.
I'm ready. I am ready.
I tried to give you an opportunity to be smart.
My team has taken off.
I tried to give you an opportunity.
We are up from the ashes of 42-10. Tell me there's not a hotter quarterback and a hotter team in pro football than Dallas is.
We just saw him play last night.
Yeah.
Or yesterday.
Okay.
The dude Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
We just saw him.
That lost 3 in a row. I don't know how
that was 7 weeks ago, Skip.
This was 10 weeks ago, was 42-10. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.